So if you've been following COD World War II at all, you would know that they've added ability to change your avatar's sex and race in multiplayer. Now let me make the distinction here. This won't affect the campaign at all. Everything will be as historically accurate as possible, at least in the confines of making a Call of Duty game. Sledgehammer's point of view here is that their campaign is meant to be a realistic portrayal of World War II, again within the confines of a Call of Duty game, while the multiplayer mode is completely separate and pushes forth the idea that it's just a fun mode to play. You know, you can customize your avatar that fits your personality or basically whatever you want it to look like, you know, cosmetically, whatever. I think it's summed up quite good with this Eurogamer interview by the co-founder of Sledgehammer Games, Michael Condrey. Multiplayer is about bringing a community together that enjoys playing Call of Duty. It's faster. There's a brutality to World War II multiplayer that is different than the last few games we made. We were able to take some creative liberties to make that an experience multiplayer fans really love. This seems like it's a little contradictory, like he's playing it up that it's less serious, but then he says it's brutal and implying that it's at least kinda serious, but I don't know, maybe I'm just reading too much into it, and I'll let it slide. But, on the other hand, this next part of the interview is something I can't let slide. So he goes on to say, you play primarily as two soldiers of the 1st Infantry Division, Private First Class Ronald, Red Daniels, and Private First Class Robert Zussman. But there are additional playable characters, including Rousseau, a female Maquis leader of the French Resistance. Okay, before you jump down my neck, this isn't what bothers me. I'm fine with the idea. In fact, I think it's a pretty good idea that they stole from Medal of Honor. But the next part this is the part that really starts to bother me. You will meet up with the French Resistance and play as the strong female French Resistance leader, Rousseau. You hear those words, those dream PR department words. Strong female, I know they say French Resistance leader, but they're basically saying strong female character. It might as well be bolded, capitalized, underlined, and italicized. It just reeks of, look at us, we're diverse. Now I don't want to speak for anyone, but I personally would be kind of insulted if someone was trying to appeal to me with this. First of all, they gotta hammer the points home like you're a baby or something. I mean, of course she's a strong female character. Not only is she in the French Resistance, but she's a key member in the French Resistance. A leader, in fact. I think anyone, regardless of race, gender, or whatever the hell else you want to pile on, would have to be a strong-willed person. Secondly, the fact that they gotta make the distinction in the first place makes it kind of sound like they're saying some women are strong-willed and some aren't, and I guess that's kind of true to real life because, you know, not everyone is strong-willed regardless of who you are. But we already established before that she's in the French Resistance, so of course she's going to be strong-willed. And they don't make that distinction with the guys at all. They just assume, you know, they're strong-willed. But they don't think we can make that connection if it's a woman or not. Now, to cut Michael Condrey and by proxy Sledgehammer Games some slack, when he said this, I highly doubt he meant to, you know, like put down women or whatever. But I find it kind of funny that the fact he's saying this to like appeal to a certain group of people, you know, pander to him, but at least the wording, it comes across as just like the complete opposite. Then Michael Condrey goes on to hammer the point home even further. Maybe that's why they're called Sledgehammer Games. But anyway, he then goes on to say, and that's important. That happened in the conflict, and we know that. Like, he's trying to justify this decision to everyone. Dude, you don't need to justify it to us, okay? Just put the character that you think fits in your video game and just roll with it, okay? No one cares. I'd like to believe that all this customizing character business is just a nice thing they added for a mode that doesn't really have any real business being a serious representation of World War II at all. But after seeing what he said here and just kind of all the wording of it, it's pretty clear to see, at least for me, that it's It's just a it's just pandering. It's just to avoid the quote-unquote wrath of the feminist and SJW crowd, while also getting their favor. And like, yeah, I'd assume you could probably deduct that pretty easily, but you know, I don't like to just slanderously call things as I see them. I like to, you know, maybe do a little research before I call shit out. Now I want to make something clear. This isn't a video about bashing SJWs or condemning having women in video games or something like that. And I don't even think like the base idea is that bad. When Michael Condrey was like, "Yeah, multiplayer is its separate thing," so we thought we'd add just, you know, this little thing to, you know, add a little customization and make people feel more at home with the multiplayer. It's not about that. It's about Activision, it's about pandering, and it's about business. All this article and interview tells me is that they don't give a shit. They don't actually give a shit about being inclusive and representing different races. Now, I'm not the type clamoring for things to be all inclusive. I think when things that weren't given enough thought and were just shoehorned in for the sake of being diverse can lead to a worse outcome. Now, that's not always true, and it's not even true in this case. Ultimately, all this goes to a multiplayer mode that was never accurate to history in the first place. The idea that a person or group of people are put in a book, a movie, a game, or anything of that sort, not because there's something someone thought would make a good addition to that piece of media, but rather just being shoved in so a company can make more money and earn more brownie points. That idea of doing that just sickens me, okay? There's just something fucking so smarmy about that shit. Now, maybe at the end of the day, I'm wrong. Okay, maybe I'm digging too deep into this, and there isn't some big meaning, and there's not like a bunch of fucking corporate overlords shoving their shit into a game. Maybe they just really added this because they wanted to, and they thought it'd be a nice addition. But I kinda doubt it. But hey, you know, that's just my opinion, and if you have a different opinion, please let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear what anyone else has to say on the topic. So, I'll have to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you later.